January.
Yes.
It feels like the pandemic is still eating into the time and energy of a lot of stuff in the county, and council just passed an emergency ordinance. Remind people about that ordinance, what it does and what it doesn't do.
What it does is put a halt on Anderson County governmental meetings. The only ones that we will be having will be council meetings in order to maintain the function of government. Planning Commission meetings and all other meetings associated with county government are on hold. This does not affect anybody in the public, because we've had people call up here and said, can we meet? And I said, this has nothing to do with you. The other thing it does is it gives us a little more wiggle room to do some things. The Anderson County Library has gone back to curbside pickup only. And other buildings,
and they're online, obviously.
And they're online, and they're full service. You just can't go in the building. So we have that going on, and we're also being extra careful. We're making some different modifications, specifically at summary court or magistrate's court. We're going to create a COVID courtroom, if you will, but even that was put on hold because the Chief Justice last week really limited the amount of court you could have in circuit court, magistrate's court, and all courts. So they're going to still be able to maintain, but with a whole slew of new restrictions.
So most citizens won't notice a lot of difference. I know you mentioned meetings, and the Planning Commission can get pretty crowded, and zoning can get pretty crowded sometimes.
Yeah, but we were trying to clear those out, get a lot of things done so that we could have this brief pause and not affect anything. And I think we've been 90% successful on that.
So other than what you just mentioned, the library and those meetings, most citizens won't notice much difference?
No.
If things turned even worse, and I don't know that anybody's expecting them to get much worse after the Christmas, are there future plans, or that's just wait and see? Or
that's wait and see. We're hoping that we'll have some vaccine rolling out here pretty quick. Anderson County is partnering with ANMED, and it's a wonderful partnership. They have offered to do vaccinations for our Tier 1 people, or A1 as they call it in the jargon. So our EMS workers, deputies, firemen, people like that on the front lines can go ahead and get that vaccination. And so that process has started. We're waiting.
So they've started getting those now?
Yes. We're waiting on DHEC, which allegedly will be around January the 15th, that we will be receiving vaccine and we can begin doing vaccinations. Again, it's on that tier level. And right now we're working through A1, and then we will get to second level AB, which we're not there yet. But I can tell you that they have already begun doing vaccinations in assisted living and nursing homes in Anderson County. So that process has already started. So, and that went smoothly. I know of several where they've gone in and completed the first round. But as you know, the first round does provide some protection. Not maximum 95% protection, but it does provide some. So you're seeing that happen. But you're also seeing the number of people getting COVID is not slowed down. And that is very troublesome. And I think what is interesting is that now, at least I'm hearing about, through personal circumstances, younger people coming down with it and it not working out very well. So everybody should wear a mask. Everybody should wear a mask. Stay away from people 6 feet if you can. Follow the protocols. Wash your hands as much as possible, and protect your own life and protect your life of those that matter to you, and perfect strangers for that matter. There's 3 simple things that you can do, and this is not going away at the end of January or February or March. It's going to continue on.
And so the vaccines are our best hope right now.
I would say the vaccines are our best hope, but that is a way away.
Have we had a lot of county employees out? Has that been significant?
No, but we have some, and we have some who have been in the ICU, so we are not immune, and we're taking all precautions, wearing masks, and doing everything we can to keep our fellow co-workers safe, plus the general public. It's interesting this year that usually on January, before January 1st, you have a slew of people going to pay their property taxes. This year, everybody was doing it online, and Jason, our Anderson County Treasurer, has waived the fees associated with using your credit card. And so, I mean, there was very few people paying their property taxes in person. They were doing it online. I thought that was wonderful.
And the deadline's the 15th for the last
Yes.
the latecomers. There's still
Yes.
no extension on the deadlines.
No, not at this point in time.
Did the self-insurance work pretty well this year with COVID?
It worked very well this year. We have got the first year under our belt. There's some tweaks that we need to do to bring the costs down, and really it was a learning experience the first year. I think we're more knowledgeable now, and I think coming this year we'll even be more knowledgeable, but it seemed to have worked very well.
Has your experience been good with it?
I absolutely love it. I mean, I absolutely love it to death. And, you know, we have you can have the standard insurance, or you can go to direct access. And I chose the direct access route, and it's worked out wonderfully well for me and my family.
We were talking about taxes. Do you think the county's going to take any hit on taxes from all that went on last year?
We don't know. We're still worried to death about it, but we don't know.
Any idea when you will know? Or
We probably won't know anything until February, because, as you pointed out, January 15th is the last day before a penalty, so we'll see.
has the state and federal relief helped any?
Yes, a lot of the money that we spent to battle COVID and to keep us safe, we have been reimbursed so far, and that's working out well. So we don't have no complaints about that, but we've also got some very exciting things that we will be addressing at the next council meeting. I think we're in line to receive $6 million in rent assistance. So we'll be working towards that to see if we can make that program come to fruition. So several other pots of money out there, but if there's any money out there that we can use to help the citizens of Anderson County, we're going to go after it.
And that rent assistance would be huge.
Yeah, it will be huge. It'll also be huge, and people forget this sometimes, that it's huge to the people who are paying rent, but it's also huge for the landlords. A lot of times people think, well, they're a landlord, but wonder if you're a retired couple, which I happen to know, and they have 2 rental units that help with their income in retirement. As a matter of fact, it's over half of their income in retirement. If they're not getting paid, they're hurting too. So I think this will be good for everybody in the county. So we'll be working to put that together. More information on that later.
So we're halfway through the county's budget year, even though we just got through the budget, and county is about to start in the next couple of weeks working on the new budget.
Yes.
Any idea what the biggest challenges in that budget are going to be?
How's the money coming in, and what have we added to the tax rolls, and the many challenges that we face in the upcoming year with COVID and just everything else. I mean, our county is growing tremendously. We've touched on that. We can't wait to see what the numbers are from the census. And people, as we talk every time, are continuing to move here in record numbers, and not just here, but also in other parts of the upstate. But the only thing that we need to be concerned about is here. And one of our biggest challenges coming up this year, facing council, because council has to face all of these challenges. And land use is going to be a big issue this year, as it was the end of last year. Council's already made some new rulings, and they will be coming up with some more to try to manage and control growth to a larger degree than we have in the past.
And I guess roads can continue to be?
Roads are always, thank God we have C-Fund money, which has been doing a wonderful job for Anderson County, the Anderson County Transportation Committee, and the DOT tax program to pave roads has been very, very successful, and we've been able to do a few. But roads are always a challenge in Anderson County because we have so many of them, and because geographically we're so large.
Have you heard any idea when you might hear from the census numbers?
No. Don't know that. Pretty soon we have to get those census numbers because you have to redraw all the political boundary lines for the next election.
That'll make a big difference.
Council's trying to take care of people with a budget that, is this level, but when you add all these other people in there, that's going to put more burden on services. It's going to put some more burden on solid waste, our landfill, recycling, police, fire. All of those issues are going to be impacted by that.
Well, and over the past month, there were a lot of economic development announcements, so many that I think some people got confused. Can you just kind of give me a general overview of what's been happening?
Well, the biggest one was the 500 jobs at TTI, and those people are hiring now, and I know some young people who've gone to work there. If pretty much the test that you have to pass right now is the drug test. And I know in just about every industry we have, that remains true. But you also have a lot of people who are on unemployment who are coming off, and you have some who are still noted as being on unemployment. They just haven't rolled off yet. So if you want a job in Anderson County, you can get a job. You may not be able to be the chief executive officer the first day, but there are plenty of opportunities to get on the ground floor right now and work your way up. Another big challenge that we're running into, and it's a really big challenge, is the number of jobs that are out there, but transportation is a major, major issue. And buses provide a good solution in many cases, but they don't provide the best solution. The best solution is point to point. And whether that's working with several different groups where they will actually go to your house, take you to work, and then when you get off, they will take you back to work. Now, would there be some charge for this? Absolutely. We're looking to see if there's money that would traditionally go to buses that could be used to do this program. There's several places in California that are doing this now. There's several in other places, not too many. But point-to-point contact, not only would it help people with jobs, but it would also help tremendously on health care. So we're spending a great deal of time trying to work that out and looking for funding sources and seeing if private industry would participate and if cities and towns would participate. So that's something on the horizon, because there can be 100 jobs out there, but if you can't get there, and our buses usually run during the day, but if you're working second shift, that doesn't work. If you're working third shift, that doesn't work. And if you work at a plant where the bus service doesn't go, and that's just a big issue, and it's something that we need to tackle, and it's become more. We've even had to stop our brand new veterans transportation program right now because of COVID. It's fully funded, but we can't put drivers and expose our clients or the drivers to what's happening now. So we're really, really ready for COVID to leave, because there are a lot of things that we could be doing, the council wants us to do to help the citizens of Anderson County.
And seniors have been particularly affected by this.
Seniors have been really hard hit, and but I'm telling you, I'm seeing younger and younger people, being affected by this too. I mean, this has destroyed families. It's a horrible situation.
Are there any other economic development announcements in the pipeline that you can talk about?
We should have two, hopefully by the end of January, that we're working on, and both of them are really nice. Really nice. And we're also excited to see some of the developments, housing developments, begin to look in other parts of Anderson County rather than just the northeast and the northwest part of the county. And we're very excited about that. So the council's goal has always been to spread the wealth around the county. You can incentivize things to happen, but you can't make a private developer go do this, and you can't make an industry locate where you want them to locate. You try to steer and move, but you can't. But I think the private sector is now understanding that Williamston, Piedmont, Belton, Honey and Path, Iva, all of those are viable places to live, and they're absolutely beautiful. So I'm happy to see that.
Is the first quarter usually good for announcements for economic development?
Usually, but the ones we have now are just holdovers from January. But our activity is still strong. We're still seeing lots of traffic, which is very good. I think we're blessed in Anderson County with the number of jobs, but we got to get the people to the jobs and got to get them hooked up, and we got to make sure, which there are out there, ground floor opportunities for a smart woman, a smart man, to get in on the bottom level and work your way up. Right now, there's never been a better time. And again, I'm telling you that if you can pass a drug test, they will work with you. They will train you. They will send you to school. They will do anything. So if you're wandering and don't know what to do, if it was me, I'd go get one of these entry-level jobs, and I'd start working, and I'd try to work harder than anybody else there. That's what I do.
Is there any meeting planned on the Courthouse Square property anytime soon?
No, not anytime. COVID has really just put a stop to all of that, but you have a whole lot of economic activity that's looking in downtown Anderson right now. I think you'll see some pretty interesting announcements coming up in the next month or so. Really in the Anderson urban area, I think you're going to see some things that people didn't expect and things people are going to go, wow, you mean they're going to come here? Yes. Well, coming here now is not an amazing thing anymore. They want to come here because we have the numbers to prove and justify them making those decisions.
A lot of new housing up, and it was 100% capacity right now. I think the Palmetto building, the Charleston group's about to finish up over there or in the process.
And I believe that, and what that will do is, again, put more people downtown. But you're also seeing some of the outlying towns beginning to have some of this activity, which I think is wonderful. But we won't be happy, council won't be happy till every town gets to enjoy this rising tide.
What is the latest on the sewer projects? We talked a little bit about that update last time.
This afternoon, we have a meeting, the first one we've had in a while because of COVID, with Clemson and Pendleton to discuss our joint sewer treatment plant. We're also working out on Well Pine Road in that area. As a matter of fact, they're blowing things up out there today, and several other sewer projects. So hopefully after the meeting this afternoon with Pendleton and Clemson, we can actually begin the process of building that new wastewater treatment plant on the site of the existing Pendleton wastewater treatment plant, because there's so much expansion, industrial expansion up in that area. We really need to do that, and we really need to do it together to save us all money and to reduce the number of sewer treatment plants that pollute Lake Hartwell. We just need to do, council wants us to do that most economical thing, the most environmentally friendly thing, and so we can do that by all three of us working together.
Over the past 2 years, council's been working on improving recreation and parks in the county.
Yes.
Where are we on that? I mean, I know the most visible are Green Pond and Dolly Cooper.
Green Pond and Dolly Cooper, but we're also, as you know, the Corps of Engineers is releasing some property. One of the things is the shores of Asbury, which is under development right now, which is going to be a private entity, but there are two other core areas that have been closed that we're looking, the county, looking to open up, whether we open them up ourselves or we open them up in concert with a private entity. And this weekend I rode down to Big Water Marina, and Big Water Marina is fixing to become a destination and resort on its own. They have huge expansion plans, and they have done all of their due diligence. So you're going to really look at something blowing up in that part of the world down there. Of course, we work with all the towns on their recreation programs, because every town in Anderson County has a recreation program, or they work with the town next to them in a recreation program. So council continues to support those efforts.
And there are parks all over the county. I mean,
there are parks all over the county. We've done a great deal of work down at Broadway Lake. A lot of it foundational that had to be done before we can do other things. So we're trying to touch every area for recreation, putting more money into Civic Center complex. As you know, we open up those pickleball courts and they stay slammed most of the time. So there's a huge demand for recreation, and it's not going to go away. It's going to continue.
Where are we at on the schedule, the amphitheater at Green Pond?
They're building it now. It is under construction right now. So we're excited about that. We're in the process of getting another dock system out there. We're excited about that.
They'll all be there by summer.
It'll all be there by late spring. Okay. If not, we'll be in a world of hurt.
Because tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, we got people who are looking to come there.
The committee.
But again, I always want to say about Green Pond, you don't have to go out there to go fishing. And if you don't have a boat, you can go out there and fish off of the bank. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to go out there and walk around, go walk around. And if you want to go out there and have a picnic, go do that. And if you want to go out there and throw a frisbee, go throw the frisbee. It is not just for fishing. It is for all of those things. It belongs to the people of Anderson County. It doesn't cost anything to go there. We try to keep it well maintained. We have security cameras out there. Please enjoy that.
And it was largely funded not by taxpayer dollars, but
by settlement, PCB settlement money, sport fishing grants, which nobody ever, and I've said that before, nobody ever gets but one. We're on our third one now. So, I mean, it's a great place. But the shores of Asbury is going to be a great place. If I started taking the reservations for the shores of Asbury and pocketing the money, I would be a wealthy person, because I'm getting calls and people are ready to go there now.
The committee led by West Pelzer Mayor Blake Sanders, Councilman Jimmy Davis, and South Carolina Representative Wes Cox about to release proposed plans for Dolly Cooper Park. Why is this such an important project for the county?
Because for the first time we have a long-range plan, a real long-range plan, and we have a real long-range plan thanks to those three people that really involve the community. And we're putting together real dollar numbers on how much it costs, other than, well, we need a Coliseum over there. Well, that's wonderful. How much Coliseum cost? So a realistic plan reflecting what the community wants and putting some numbers with it so we can attack that. We won't be able to do it all at one time. There's not that much money in Anderson County, but we can begin the process.
And there are some things already finished, trail and...
The trail's there, and it's getting a huge amount of use. It's right along the Saluda River banks. It's beautiful. You can go there. And Frisbee golf, that may be the hottest Frisbee golf destination that we have in Anderson County, because they're always out there doing that. And it's just a pretty place to go walk. Again, it's open all the time. It doesn't cost anything, and people should take advantage of it.
It's also an example of where they've tried to make sure the county's committed to ADA compliance.
We try to make everything we do ADA compliant. That is one of council's most firm convictions. Hey, it's the federal law, but you can skirt that in ways, but everything that we do is ADA compliant. I mean, we've even done one thing that we thought was ADA compliant, and they said, well, that was ADA compliant last year. So then we've gone in and retrofitted it again to make sure it is.
And the whole Blue Trail is an example of that we're working on.
Matt Shell, baby birth child, that's working very, very well. We're still waiting on some things to happen in Piedmont, and they aren't happening as fast as we thought they were.
Well, the East West Parkway was not only a great road, it seems to become a destination for people to walk and visit and everything else. Anything else planned along that stretch of road?
Well, right now, as you know, we've completed the East-West Parkway Park, and really thank Brian White and Mr. Francis Crowder and Mr. Craig Wooten, all working together to bring that to fruition. And it's been a huge hit, and we'll probably be doing some more work out there. Hopefully maybe one day we can expand it a little bit, but it makes everything safer. We may need to put some more benches along there, because some people are telling me that, look, I'm 75 years old. Do you mind if we put a couple more benches in between? Of course, then you got some 75-year-olds who run it every day. So it just depends. Just depends.
What about the upgrades at Kid Venture Park?
COVID has put a hamper on those, and a lot of the money that we were going to use to fund that came from accommodations tax, people staying in hotel rooms. And with COVID, people aren't staying in hotel rooms. I talked to a local innkeeper this week, and I mean, their business is off 60%. There's no accommodations tax money coming from that, and they're all of our hotels are hurting. So that's slowed somewhat.
Well, that always brings us back, and I think I know what you're going to say, but is there any chance of revisiting the hospitality tax idea?
I don't think that right now, with COVID, the council is looking to do any tax increase unless they absolutely have to keep the doors open. They really haven't had a tax increase in 12 years. And thankfully, we've had some growth that allowed us to do some things.
Well, let's talk about Paws. They started the year with a break-in and finished it with a pandemic. Where are we at on the Paws dog park?
Well, we're doing good. We received, as I probably mentioned last time, another anonymous $25,000 donation towards the dog park. And we're trying to do as much of that in-house as we can. And the only time we can do stuff like that in-house is during the winter, when we can't do road work. Really, because all of the heavy rain, we've been doing a lot of ditching and driveway repair and things like that. So keeping our people working as hard as they can. But we've also, because of COVID, tried to reduce the number of people we have on the payroll. Not by firing anybody, not by laying anybody off, but not filling all of our positions at this point in time until we get a better handle on what's going on.
And I think people forget, I had just talked to Dr. Kim Sanders out there, that they're working 24/7 out there. There's not a place that, just because they're not open for business to the public, they're out there, somebody's out there working all the time.
There's somebody working there all the time. I mean, in our wastewater department, we have somebody on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and usually they're getting a call. Our sheriff's department's doing a wonderful job, but they're going full tilt all the time. So there are a lot of county government operations that never stop. Our emergency preparedness group never stops. Right now, we are, and I want to say this loudly, in order to store our vaccine, we needed a refrigerator refrigerators and freezers and sub-zero storage. Our emergency people have worked with ANMED, and ANMED's going to provide our sub-zero. But our good friends at Electrolux, we called them up and said, look, we need some refrigerators and freezers. And they said, what size you need? What size you want? When you want to come get them? Couldn't be better. So that's going to save the taxpayers a nice piece of money, because Electrolux is trying to be a good community neighbor and proving it time and again.
To store vaccines.
To store vaccines.
What is the latest you've heard on vaccines coming up?
January the 15th, according to DHEC, and our people are ready to begin dispensing the vaccine. I already mentioned AdMed stepping in to help Anderson County and Anderson County residents by giving some vaccine now to those people who qualify for it. And we're also looking to turn the Civic Center into a major vaccination point. We've already had discussions with people interested in doing that. So that's going on. We're also looking at plans to go out to the local fire departments when we get to that point. And maybe not every fire department, but try to find one in the middle of several areas. Our people over there are doing a remarkable job, and they're working hard. And not only that, but people don't understand how many calls they get from people on, well, what should I do about this? What should I do about this? How do we do this? Those calls come in 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and they're always there to answer them and help out.
So it's just as soon as the vaccines are available, they're ready to start distributing?
We're ready to start putting something in your arm right away.
Are there any other significant county buildings or projects that are underway that need work or updating?
Well, we have $500,000 we have to spend on this courthouse, and we're kind of waiting until after January to get busy on that. We already know what needs to be done, and so we're going to do that work. We're going to tear down the dangerous portion of McCant School. That's in the works. So we have a lot of projects that we couldn't postpone that we're getting ready to do.
And council meetings are the one meeting that will continue?
They will continue for now. We know that we will have one next Tuesday at 12 o'clock at the Civic Center. And then we will probably continue that in February, because we have some economic development matters that we have to do, because they require public hearings and public notice. So we'll try to continue to do that again. But until further notice, all council meetings will be at the Civic Center, and they will be at 12 o'clock. Hopefully in February we'll be rolling out our new website, county website, which is going to be tremendous. We've already seen some of the things that's going to be user-friendly, really up to date, and the county council's effort to modernize all of the computer systems in Anderson County government is well underway. We're working with different parts of the sheriff's department. They're taking classes now, improve our finance record keeping and all of that. That's going on too. So there's always something good going on in Anderson County.